Hi, dear friends and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to this particular cricket happening show today. And in this particular cricket happening show, I'm going to start off this particular cricket happening show with the news from the ICC World Cup 2015 qualifiers. As you know, this is a tournament which is being played to decide two more spots for the World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand, and today those two spots have been clinched by Scotland and United Arab Emirates. So congratulations to Scotland and United Arab Emirates to be the final two nations to qualify for the World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand. Now, as far as Scotland are concerned, Scotland actually got their World Cup berth for 2015 with a 3-wicket win over Kenya. Actually, Kenya had put up a lot of runs on the board. It was a lot of pressure on Scotland, but Rob Taylor came to their rescue at the end moment and saw to it that he won. He came at number 8 and cracked an unbeaten 46 of 37 balls and took Scotland to World Cup 2015. And this is the second time, and since 2007 was the last when Scotland actually participated in World Cup, and that was in 2007. And now Scotland were the ones. That is how Scotland actually clinched their place for World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand. And the other news is that in 1996 United Arab Emirates qualified for the World Cup, and after that there was no news of them. But now United Arab Emirates have really emerged as a real cricketing nation, and what they have done, I'm sure it would be a lot of rejoicing. I'm very happy for United Arab Emirates because United Arab Emirates was the place where I actually worked once upon a time. After I left India, I had gone to Dubai for work. I stayed there for 9 years, and that was the time. So I'm very happy for the United Arab Emirates. I stayed in the United Arab Emirates for 9 years, so I know what that means. And United Arab Emirates also have also clinched their place, so they became the final nation to clinch their spot in World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand. And congratulations to United Arab Emirates for doing so. Their captain Khurram Khan has been a picture of consistency in this ICC World Cup 2015 qualifiers. And yesterday United Arab Emirates qualified for the World Cup 2015 with a 36-run win over Namibia at Rangiora to book their spot. And this was the last time that United Arab Emirates qualified for the World Cup. That was in 1996. So congratulations to United Arab Emirates. As I said, I'm very happy for United Arab Emirates because that was the place I stayed for 9 years in United Arab Emirates, and I'm very glad to note that United Arab Emirates along with Scotland have qualified for the World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand. Well, now, so that's the reason I wanted to start off this particular cricket happening show with this exciting news that I'm sure there'll be a lot of rejoicing going on in Scotland and also in United Arab Emirates for them to have qualified. So now just leaving away from there, we will talk about the match between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, which ended as expected. As you know, the mountains of runs scored by Sri Lanka was something that Bangladesh would have definitely, as I said, they were in jail yesterday, and today they couldn't get out of jail. And not only that, Sri Lanka won by a huge margin of by an innings and 248 runs, as Bangladesh definitely didn't show any application. They played as if they were playing sort of one-day cricket, because if you look at the score, they started off at 35 for 1, and after lunch play was all over, and look at the score that they had. So you can imagine what was the tempo of scoring for Bangladesh. 250 was the final tally, which they made in 50 or 51.5 overs that they played. So that typically says that there was absolutely no application and dedication on the part of Bangladesh. They started going for the bowling instead of staying at the wicket. Yes, they definitely had problems, but you know, application and dedication is something which is very important in Test cricket, and Bangladesh definitely lacked that. There were 2 full days they could have at least given themselves a chance by staying at the wicket, trying to apply themselves. But I couldn't see real application or dedication from the Bangladeshi batsmen, and Bangladeshi batsmen themselves. Not only that, they could have put up a much better fight than this, and finally they folded up for 250 runs with a very, very huge victory for Sri Lanka by an innings and 248 runs. And not only that, they also went one up in this 3-test series. I think it's a two-test series. I just want to confirm that. But anyway, so they have got one up. Now, as you know, Bangladesh resuming, as I said, at the overnight score of 35 for 1 with Shamsur Rahman and Marshal Ayub. Now, Suranga Lakmal and Shaminda Eranga were the bowlers. The ball was fairly new after 9 overs, which was bowled in the previous day. And Suranga, the first wicket to go was Shaminda Eranga. The first wicket to go was actually Shamsur Rahman. Shamsur Rahman got a ball which was a real snorter, a very evil snorter coming from Eranga, because Eranga definitely has the ability to actually hit the deck hard and generate a lot of pace and bounce, and that's what he precisely did. So Shamsur Rahman got a hell of a delivery and he couldn't keep it down. He was caught fending from his face, and Chandimal at short leg took the catch. So he was gone. Caught Chandimal, bowled Eranga for 9 with 1-4, which made the score 35 for 2. Marshal Ayub was joined by Mominul Haq at the other end, and Marshal Ayub was also sucked in by a bouncer. At this time, Suranga Lakmal was the bowler who got a ball to lift off a good length spot, and Marshal Ayub also ended up fending the delivery and Silva taking the catch. So he was gone for 18 to 3-4s, and the pace bowlers, what they did is they basically provided the breakthrough pretty quickly, and Bangladesh found themselves in a position at 50 for 3, where Mominul Haq, the youngster, the talented youngster, was joined in by Shakib Al Hasan. Now, Shakib Al Hasan and Mominul Haq, what they did is that they, instead of really staying at the wicket, they decided to go for the bowling. In the sense, Shakib Al Hasan was trying to play his strokes. He hit a few boundaries and sixes too. Mominul Haq, as you know, is a very talented youngster. We saw that he collected a lot of runs through the square on the offside, and in fact he started carving Shaminda Eranga and Lakmal through to boundaries, and the score pushed on to 102. And that was the time spin was introduced into the attack in the form of Dilruwan Pereira, the right arm off spinner. And Dilruwan Pereira produced a beautiful ball. That is the stock ball that normally a right arm off spinner possesses, which is called the arm ball, which goes in straight with the arm. And Pereira produced that delivery. Shakib Al Hasan was trapped in front of the wicket. He was gone. LBW bowled Pereira for 25 with 2 4s and 1 6, and that was a big blow for them as Shakib Al Hasan left the pitch. 102 for 4 at that stage, Bangladesh. Mominul Haq was joined in by the Bangladeshi captain Mushfiqur Rahim. Now, once Mushfiqur Rahim came in and the spinners were introduced, it didn't have any effect of Mominul Haq. Mominul Haq decided that the best way to play the spin was to attack, and I thought Mominul Haq definitely played some beautiful stroke. He's a very talented youngster. When I've seen him do that, he's got a century under his belt against New Zealand, as you remember, and he's a very, very short guy, but the amount of punch that he packs with his strokes, with this tremendous timing, is really worth watching, because he played some very, very good strokes. In fact, as I said, his primary area of stroking was through the offside, through the point region and square on the offside. So that's what he was precisely doing. So he was getting a lot of short deliveries. He used to deal them pretty severely, and he was very, very strong on the offside. He drove well, and he was looking very good. In fact, he hit Dilruwan Pereira, the right arm off spinner, for 3 4s, and then Rangana Herath also got some severe tap from Mominul Haq, the left-handed batsman, and suddenly, there was a real acceleration at one stage. From 102, the score went on with Mominul Haq absolutely banging the bowlers, in the sense he was not relenting at all. He was not afraid to play his strokes, and he really was dancing. In the sense, he was really on twinkling feet when spinners were bowling, using his feet very well. But then finally, Mominul Haq went on to make a good 50, a very quick 50 at that, of 57 balls with 8 4s, and once again Dilruwan Pereira, who was bowling excellently, even though he got some tap, he adjusted his line. Yesterday we saw that Dilruwan Pereira had grown as a bowler, in the sense we saw a lot of things. He was getting good drift, and he was also bowling his arm ball very well. And here Mominul Haq was caught in front, in the sense the ball actually pitched in the line of the middle stump, and the umpire thought that the ball would be straightening up and hitting the stumps, and up went the umpire. I think it was Paul Rifle's finger, and well, Mominul Haq had to walk out. So he was gone. LBW bowled Pereira for 50 with 8 fours, and that made the score 133 for 5. After that, Mushfiqur Rahim, who was trying to stay there at the crease, showing some application, was gone. As Pereira, as I said, he was bowling pretty well yesterday. What he did is he got a ball. What one has seen from Dilruwan Pereira is he's a much bigger turner than even Rangana Herath, because what I see is that he really grips the ball very well and really gives it a good tweak. And that's what he did precisely with Mushfiqur Rahim, as Mushfiqur Rahim actually was beaten by the turn, and the ball went through his gate and crashed into the stumps, and Mushfiqur Rahim was walking just at the stroke of lunch, bowled by Pereira for 14 of 30 balls with 2 fours, which made the score 150 for 6, and lunch was called at that time, and that was the time when Bangladesh were 150 for 6. After that, it was going to be a Herculean task for them, because the mainstay Shakib Al Hasan and Mushfiqur Rahim had disappeared, and now it was left to Nasir Hussain and Sohail Ghazi, the last recognized batting pair, to do something. But we know that it was not possible to reach the target, but at least they could have shown some application and dedication. But as I said, the Bangladeshi batsmen only believed in playing the strokes, and nobody wanted to really apply themselves at the crease. And that was the thing which really spelt, it brought a very quick end to this particular match, and they lost by an innings, with Sohail Ghazi and Nasir Hussain putting in a partnership of 33 runs. Sohail Ghazi went on attacking, and he contributed 23 of 19 balls with 2 fours and 2 6 before being LBW to Lakmal for 23, which made it 183 for 7. And after that, Rabiul Islam was LBW bowled Lakmal for 1, which made it 197 for 8. Nasir Hussain was taking it again. He played some very nice strokes, and as you know, he's a very good player. He's a very, very talented bloke. But Dilruwan Pereira picked up his 5th wicket, he picked up his 4th wicket, in fact, in the form of Nasir Hussain, when Nasir Hussain was caught by Herath with the bowling of Pereira for 29 with 5 fours. And then Dilruwan Pereira, in his 2nd test match of his career, went on to take a 5-wicket bag for the first time in his test career, as he actually picked up the wicket of Rubail Hussain, who was involved in a very, very breezy partnership at that stage. Once Nasir Hussain was gone, the score was 197 for 9, and after that it was a real breezy partnership. If you look at it, they from 45.3 overs, you are looking at 6 overs. 6 overs were played, and the tailenders, Rubail Hussain and Al Amin Hussain in particular, cracked this Sri Lankan bowling to all parts of the ground by taking. They added 53 runs for the final wicket, with Al Amin Hussain going aerial 4 times, hitting 4 sixes and 1 boundary in an unbeaten knock of 32 of 18 balls. And that was good to see that the tailenders were thrashing the Sri Lankan spinners. And Rubail Hussain was the final wicket to go. As I said, that was the final wicket for Dilruwan Pereira, who got his first 5-wicket haul in Test cricket, and what a proud moment that was. Rubail Hussain was gone. Caught Silva bowled Pereira for 17, and thus ended the match with Bangladesh being all out for 250, and thus giving Sri Lankans a real win on a platter. And as I said, the mountains of runs that Sri Lanka scored in the first innings of 730 really proved the real change, in the sense that was the real turning point, and Sri Lanka winning by an innings and 248 runs in the first test match here at the Sher-e-Bangla National Stadium in Mirpur, and with a day to spare. Now looking at the bowling, Dilruwan Pereira was the man who got his 5-wicket haul, first 5-wicket haul in Test cricket, his maiden 5-wicket haul in Test cricket, 19.5 overs, no maidens, 109 runs and 5 wickets. Angelo Matthews 3 overs for 10 runs, Rangana had at 9 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 47. Suranga Lakmal picked up 3 wickets for 39 runs with 14 overs and 4 maidens. And Shamin Dairanga, 6 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 26. The man of the match went to Mahela Jayawardene of Sri Lanka. So we have only one more test match coming up between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. That would be played at Chittagong. Well, one thing that I would like to say here, Bangladesh in the second innings showed absolutely lack of application and dedication. Considering there were 2 more days left, they could have shown more application and dedication rather than going for the run. So what it essentially meant is that Bangladesh needs to Bangladesh have been having a very tough time as far as test cricket is concerned. They have been having a pretty tough time. They have not been winning any test matches. So it is very essential for Bangladesh to really take this as a very learning point and see to it that they don't commit the same blunder that they committed in this particular test. For Bangladesh, they lost this particular test match. The time Bangladesh on a very true wicket, that wicket which was playing good, getting the advantage of batting first, they could muster only 232 runs, and then Sri Lanka presented them mountains of runs, made mountains of runs to really pile on the pressure on Bangladesh, and Bangladesh kept on succumbing to the pressure, and finally, as I said, the writing was absolutely on the wall yesterday, and the match finished on the 4th day itself with Sri Lanka winning the match by an innings and 248 runs, the 4th heaviest defeat in cricket test history. Well, from here, let's look at the final one-day international of the series, which is coming up between New Zealand and India today at the Basin Reserve in Wellington. And as you know, for India, well, they could salvage something because New Zealand are having a real lead in this series, 3-0. In fact, India has not even won a single. They tied that match, but they have not had a single win under the belt in this one-day series, and that's what India would like to do. They could at least salvage something today at the Basin Reserve in Wellington by getting at least a win under the belt. Whether they would be able to do it, that is something which is to be seen. Now, whether probably India might be thinking that they should be going at full strength in this team, so probably Shikhar Dhawan should be back, and then they have Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane, Dhoni, Stuart Binney. Whether Stuart Binney or Ambati Rayudu, one has a feeling that Ambati Rayudu might get an opportunity, because Jadeja and Ashwin are there to man the spin attack. Whether Mohammad Shami, Bhuvneshwar Kumar are automatic choices, whether Ishan Sharma is going to be preferred to Varun Arun. But as I said, for India, they just have to get one win and at least one win under the belt, because that would at least give them some confidence going into the first test match, which would be starting between India and New Zealand after the one-day series. Now, for India, let's look for New Zealand. For New Zealand, they have actually they have given a call up to the, as you know, for New Zealand it's a mere formality. They need not really be worried about anything, because they've already taken the lead, so they can really give the reserves a good chance, and that's why they have given a call up to a guy called Matt Henry. He's from Canterbury. He is a quickie, and the last week he had taken 5 wickets in a first-class match there. So that's the precise reason he has been roped in. Whether he will be given an opportunity, one does not know. New Zealand, well, they are looking pretty strong. Jesse Ryder will be hoping that he could get a good knock under his belt. Kane Williamson has been a picture of consistency. He has already scored 4 half-centuries on the trot, and the other people to do so for New Zealand in the past is Roger Toos, Martin Guptill, the current opening batsman, and Andrew Jones, the yesteryear batsman. Now, if Kane Williamson could actually get his 5th consecutive 50 against India in this particular one-day international at Basin Reserve in Wellington, then Kane Williamson will be joining those likes of those 3 persons who have had 5 consecutive 50s, and what an achievement that would be for Kane Williamson. He truly deserves that, and I don't see any reason why Kane Williamson wouldn't do that. He looks to be in absolute form here. Ross Taylor has been striking the ball very well. He got a century the other day. Brendan McCullum also has hit some form at the right time, well, other than that, the bowling was absolutely sharp the other day with Kyle Mills and Tim Southee bowling an excellent line and length and keeping the batsman really quiet, which added to the frustration. Mitchell McClenaghan might find his place back into the team. So as I said, the pressure is on India, whether they can get at least one win under the belt in this one-day international series. But we all know that the series is all done and dusted. or if India doesn't win, then it will be a clean sweep of the series, even though the third match was tied, but could still call it a real clean sweep by New Zealand if they actually win this particular match at the Basin Reserve in Wellington today in the 5th One-Day International, which is coming up. And also there is one more T20 match, the second T20 match after the first T20 match had a real run feast where Ravi Bopara tried his best but couldn't really prevent Australia from winning. We are getting on to the second T20 match of the series, where England definitely have to win this match, otherwise the T20 series will be going in favor of Australia, because it's a 3-match T20 series. As far as Australia are concerned, one thing has really surprised me. I don't know how, dear friends and subscribers, you feel about it. They have brought in Brad Hodge, who is a 39-year-old batsman. Now, I don't have anything against Brad Hodge. He's a very wonderful batsman. He's the highest T20 scorer as far as 2020 T20 matches are concerned. He is the highest leading run scorer all time in 2020 cricket. But one does not know what is the strategy for Australia. What they are really planning, because Brad Hodge, as you know, the T20 World Cup is coming up in Bangladesh in the month of March, and I was really surprised to see that Brad Hodge was included, because Brad Hodge is 39 years of age. He definitely is the highest run getter as far as T20 cricket is concerned, which is absolutely great. Kudos to him. But well, looking at the context in where Australia are really building their team, they are doing well. They have a lot of talented youngsters. One has seen a lot of talented youngsters actually playing in the Big Bash League. But I was a bit surprised. I don't know how you, dear friends and subscribers, feel about it. I was a bit surprised that Brad Hodge, at the age of 39, has been given an opportunity. Now, if he has been given an opportunity in the T20 match, it essentially means that Australia are definitely eyeing Brad Hodge to pick him up for the T20 World Cup. Whether that's something which is correct, one does not know. Well, I mean, it is not something. I'm nobody to actually question the higher ups of Australian cricket, but this is my pure and personal opinion. I personally feel that Brad Hodge at 39, according to me, is not a real. I don't really find it a good choice. Maybe some people might agree with it, but I thought, you know, in the Big Bash League we have been seeing a lot of good youngsters from Australia, and I was a bit surprised there at that particular thing. Other than that, well, the Australians always, you know, they are breathing fire right now. They are in absolutely peak form. We saw the other day how talented Chris Lynn is with his stroke making. 33 quick runs in tremendous style. And Nathan Coulter-Nile was hitting his straps absolutely superbly. James Muirhead, the right arm leg spinner who made his debut, also chipped in very well with 1 wicket. As far as England are concerned, as I said, they are the ones who are under pressure, and they have to quickly notch up a win. If they lose this particular T20 match, it will be curtains for England in the T20 series. So it would be a sort of a clean sweep by Australia of this particular of England in all the formats of the game in this particular tour of Australia, if Australia win. For England, well, whether I didn't really speak about it because the other day I couldn't get much time. That Ben Stokes, according to me, it should be an automatic inclusion as far as T20 and One-Day Internationals are concerned. I was really surprised that the other day one didn't see Ben Stokes. Whether Ben Stokes will get his place back, and I'm really hoping that Ben Stokes plays today in this particular game against Australia, and that is pretty vital to their chances, according to me, because he's a 100% performer who performs in all the 3 departments of the game. He's a real, according to me, he's a real live wire as far as English cricket is concerned, Ben Stokes. So I would love to see Ben Stokes in full colours in the second T20 match, which is going to be played between Australia and England at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this very note, your host Ram would like to end this cricket show. It has been probably a 25-minute YouTube broadcast, but well, I really love talking about cricket. I want to wax eloquent about cricket. I really love dwelling on the game of cricket. It's an absolute gem. It's an absolute pleasure to talk about cricket, nothing else but cricket. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the Cricket Happening show of today. See you all tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye.